You're listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. I am your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
Man, I am just here, glued to the screen, waiting for a certain wide receiver to commit. It seemed like it was just a short 3 weeks ago that it was any minute now, and
Hope
now
you haven't
it
been holding
should
your breath.
Oh yeah, well, I've gotten really good at it. I've lost 37 pounds. Just hanging out. This is my summer. How you been?
I've been good. I've been fine.
Did you survive the 4th? Were there a lot of fireworks in your neck of the woods? We luckily missed out because we left for our trip on the 4th, so I missed out on the probably PTSD-inducing barrage of fireworks that our neighborhood has, and we're actually in city limits, whereas you are not.
No, we are.
So,
we're on the
are
edge
you
of
in
city
city
limits.
limits?
Yeah. So our
How does that? Oh, it's like they carved out around.
they
Anyway.
annexed it, a while ago,
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
it goes out at least. So our neighborhood goes from like University out to Avenue P, and then 130th down to 145th,
6th.
146th ish, and I bet
Yeah.
that entire little block was just added in. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, how committed, how patriotic are your neighbors? Because ours started the day they could buy fireworks, so
Yes.
June 27th or whatever it was, and then it was every night until 12:30 or 1 until the 8th. We had a good
Finally ran out.
2 weeks. Yeah, because obviously you can't buy any after the 4th, but we had 5, 6, we had 4 more days of fireworks of people that couldn't buy more fireworks but had more to shoot off.
Just the worst, man. Just the worst. What are you doing?
And
Do it on the 4th.
so
on the 4th, I get it.
On Tuesday, on the 4th, actually the 4th, it was like, it was the worst, and I understood it and expected it. I had no problems with it that night. I was like, it's just gonna be crazy, and it was the craziest night, right? It literally sounded like just nonstop gunfire.
Yeah. Yes.
You're like, I don't know if I should be worried, scared. Like, should we get like a middle room of the house, put some metal walls up,
I know you're like,
or just
we
go
need to
outside
fire
and
up the
enjoy some
sprinklers.
fireworks? That's what we almost did, because
We have done that before. We've given up before, and we're just like, yeah, we're gonna sit outside and enjoy and watch them for a while because we can't sleep.
we are on
Sure. It's
on the
12:30.
yeah, we're on the edge of the developed part of the neighborhood, and there, after we moved last summer, so a lot of people come out to the end of our street,
Yes.
and then the street behind us is relatively new, but they have a big area too. It's like there was a lot shot off around us, and there was a time on Tuesday night, Smith was like, should we run the sprinklers? It's like, that wouldn't be a bad idea,
Yes.
because it was also a little breezy that night too. It's like, even though they're 5, 6 houses away, like we're 5 or 6 houses away from the end of their street, the wind was blowing from that part, where people were shooting it back towards us. It's like, yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah. Tuesday, we left that day, and luckily that's my watering day.
There you go.
So I was already like, okay, good. The sprinklers are gonna run tonight while we're gone. Hopefully we'll be okay, because we found stuff in our yard.
Mhm. We did
Stuff
too.
that's exploded over the house, or it'll rain after a few days, and then stuff will come off the roof or blow off the roof later. And my Ring camera was going nuts. So the 3rd was bad enough. I mean, we didn't get to bed till after 1 on the 3rd. So I just thought, man, the 4th is just going to be like that scene where Robert Downey Jr. is in front of the mountain range in the first Iron Man. That's just going to be the 4th of July in my neighborhood.
Yeah. And I was talking to a friend, a coworker of mine that lived in this neighborhood for a few years. And we're complaining about it. I was like, you think like people that move out here think like they're out in the country, and I was like, no,
Yes.
this is still like it's not. It felt a lot more out of the city when we first moved here, like 6.5 years ago, right?
Mhm.
But like there are more houses going up to the south of us. There are houses going in that field south of the elementary school. Like there's a neighborhood around the elementary school now. Um, like do you know that neighborhood, Timber Ridge? It's
No.
north, so it's north of Woodrow,
Oh,
between
okay.
University and Indiana.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So like they're older beaten bow houses, but they're on like acre lots. They were like out of the city limits for forever. I'm sure they had to deal with a lot of this craziness too, but there are houses being filled in between my neighborhood and that neighborhood. It's like it's just going to be one big neighborhood here pretty soon.
Well, and
Lots of people, but
that's what
still,
I
it's like it's
noticed too.
wild. Just stop. It's
Yeah.
like this is you want to go shoot fireworks, great. Just don't set my house on fire, please.
That's what I noticed too was when we first moved into our neighborhood, there was still a lot of vacant lots around us, and it seemed like the fireworks were more intense and lasted for longer. You know, like it lasts like 8 days or 10 days or
Hmm.
whatever, just every night, kind of like what you just described. But as more people moved in and more houses got built, that kind of calmed down to where really it's focused mainly on the third and the fourth and maybe the fifth. But man, I remember before it was like the day they started going on sale, like June 30th or whatever it was. It was just madness. And I knew for sure it was people that just drove out there to the end of a cul-de-sac where there's no houses.
Yep.
And then so you
Found
drive
some
by there
dirt.
the next you drive by there the next day and it's just carnage of all these boxes and stuff that some jackass lit and then left for someone else to clean up, beer bottles, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Now I will say like I don't know. Obviously, I don't know like how many of the people that were shooting off fireworks actually lived here.
Yeah.
But the morning of the 5th, like we went out, like we went for a walk around the neighborhood and then around the park that we have. Like the trash cans were overflowing, but it seemed like everybody did a pretty good job of picking up after them. So I was like, hey, good job, people.
Hey,
Instead of just leaving it on
okay.
the street. Now, granted, there's gonna be some like of the debris that falls and just random little whatever. But
Well, and trash
anyways, it
cans are
seemed like
kind of going to overflow anyway because
yeah, I
they
wasn't worried
don't
about
run
that. It
as
was just
much during the holidays and there's probably just more people and more trash in general. You're just like, okay, that's one of those things, Easter, Thanksgiving, the Memorial Day, it's like, okay, we're going to have a really full trash can or trash or dumpster this week. That's
yeah.
fine.
Well, these were the trash cans that are like on the trail around the park.
Oh, I got you. I
They
got
were
you.
they were overflowing. I was like, what? At
Well, like you
least at
said,
least
that
they
means people
tried.
are trying. Yes. E for
Alrighty.
effort.
Yeah, for effort.
What are we, 10 minutes in?
We're gonna talk about baseball tonight, Michael. All-Star game is ongoing. Our boy Josh Young got the start. I want to hear your best Tim Tadlock impression on what you think he would have thought or said as he was introduced. As Josh Young was introduced as an all-star starter. We'll get to that later. Don't do it now.
Okay.
We'll
Good.
wrap up the MLB draft of Texas Tech Red Raiders. Spoiler alert: there was one. So you went from like 10 last year to one. Um, a quick one name update of the transfer portal. Uh, we'll talk about the basketball tournament. I saw some tickets on the secondary market. I was shocked they wanted this much money. And the person that was selling it included like a screenshot of when she bought it, but it showed that she got it like on a buy one get one, but she was asking for full price on 2 tickets. It's like something's not right here, girl. You're showing us that you bought it
No. Go show
uh
your hand.
buy one get one, and now you're like, I need full price for 2 tickets. No, that's not how it's gonna work. Um, Bob Huggins resigning, or did he? And then a transfer from West Virginia. Is the football team getting new uniforms, Michael? Or at least are they transitioning to using a lot more of the Southwest Conference era throwbacks?
Okay.
5 new
listening.
commits since we talked. We'll talk about those. None of them are Micah Hudson.
Oh man.
They are all defenders. I think they're all defensive backs too. So, and then we'll wrap up
DBU?
with what did we learn? So you can find us on Twitter. You can also find us on Threads. That was a thing that happened yesterday morning. I don't know if anybody's on Threads or just it's a backup. Let's be honest. Like I activated that account Monday morning. One, because we got when I walked into work, I was doing a walkthrough on some locations for a big video project I'm shooting here pretty soon. The girl's like, "Hey, did you see what UMC posted on Threads?" I was like, "No, what'd they say?" Like their first post was in before covenant. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
come on.
Smarmy little bastards. Which is strange because that hasn't been their voice, and they probably thought they'd be okay doing that on a new platform with very few followers.
Sure.
But I was like, all right, you a-holes, took your shot, which is fine. Like we may be super slow to adopt and move over to Threads if we ever do it, just because of the way that our social media team is structured out of Seattle, and like if they want to take on a new platform and figure it all out.
Y'all should have waited for, y'all should have waited 3 days and then somehow tied that in biblically when you.
Yeah, like
when
on
Covenant
Monday,
20.
like 3 days later, here we are.
Yeah. Yes.
'Cause
And on the
of
third day.
third day covenant. Okay. But anyways, so through all
I'll
that,
help
I
you
was
write something. Yeah, I'm really good at Twitter. Y'all know me. I tweet about once every
I should
7 or 8 days.
I should send this to our social media people. Like,
I tweet
hey,
once every 7 or 8 days, whether I need to or not. I just do it. I mean, that's just how I'm built. I'm built different.
Built different. So same handle at 23 personnel on Twitter and Threads, at punts suck, at Michael_LBK for Twitter. Y'all know it by now, but you can find all of our great work over on Staking the Plains, including the rest of the Content Network and their work there. If you're not reading, Seth is still posting over there. We'll be going through as we do our new opponent introductions. Seth has already got a jump on those, so you can go read them over on stakingtheplains.com. But we'll be doing some of those, looking at Houston and BYU and UCF. We'll start with those three because we will play them this year, and then probably wrap up with Cincinnati, who we will not play. Or maybe we should start with Cincinnati because we don't play them. I don't know.
Schedule Cincinnati. That's what we should do. We should schedule them.
Is Tuberville still over there?
Later.
Is he still coaching?
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's
screwing up.
He's had a week.
He's screwing up the state of Alabama all on his own.
Good Lord.
Okay. So let's jump into baseball, Michael.
Yes, let's do that.
Left field, well struck. Desloney picks it up on a bounce. He's racing for second. Throw out in second.
Young lifts it to right field, looking for his second home run, and he's got it into his own bullpen.
Reps and some time because all the tools are there.
Wow, this one launched deep left off the bat of Warren and into the bleachers. There he goes, and the pitch is driven deep to right. Kjerstad to the wall, off the top of the fence. Here comes the big fella. Cameron Warren's going to motor home from first. Throw to third is late, and the Red Raiders have reclaimed the lead. Popped up. Trevor Boone back. It's more than a pop-up. It's a big fly. Tuck takes the lead. Lubbock and leave it. Texas Tech can start packing for Omaha.
All right. The All-Star game, Michael, is ongoing. Last I checked. Because we've been over here for a while. It was tied 2-2, and I made my journey from my living room to the office to record. National League has a lead 3-2, top of the ninth. They are batting. Our boy Josh Young got the start at third base. And Michael, I would love to hear what you think Tim Tadlock would have said and how he would have said it, seeing a former player of his introduced as a starter in the All-Star game. Take us into his living room, Michael.
He was hang on. I feel like I need some chewing gum in my mouth. I think that would help, but I don't have any. He was such a good player for us at Tech. Not really surprised at all. Just really hardworking player. Was just smart and really dedicated to the game. Glad we got to have him when we did. Hats off to his brother. I don't know. That's all. It's not my best. It's not my best. I think I don't get enough whistles in there. And then I know there are a couple other things I like to throw in there, and I didn't do it. It's fine.
So my initial thought, Michael, not that what you said would have been wrong. Would have been a more emotional Tadlock, like when he was asked about like when he was asked about what he said in his introductory press conference about going to Omaha and all that kind of stuff. I think there'd be like a little bit of a catch in his throat, a little extra twinkle or glimmer in his eye, and say something like, "Man, that's pretty cool." But like
that
not,
was all.
That's all. Like and not like, hey, that's cool, but like, the Tadlock way, like, man, it's pretty cool. I can't do it, man.
I kind of took it to be more like this was a foregone conclusion. I feel like he would approach it as if this is just another day at the office because he knew how good this kid was. Yeah, since the day we saw him, I just had a feeling that this was bound to happen. For it to happen in his rookie season is incredible. I'm just really glad we got to be a part of it. Got a little emotional there at the end for that one.
We should call on David Collier to like, hey, like just call Tadlock and ask him what he thought, what he said to his wife, or J Bob, who's sitting on the couch next to him.
He may have just said, "Huh."
Hey, you remember that guy?
That may have been when he found out. Huh? Is that Josh?
Oh, look,
Crazy.
I know that guy. But speaking of the Rangers, because Josh is a Ranger, that's freaking awesome. One, my man Joe Davis is on the play-by-play tonight.
Oh, you love this guy.
I do. And he mentioned a couple of colleges throughout the night. One, because Fox has the big noon kickoff between Colorado and TCU to start this season. So he had that little bit of a promo talking about Dion.
That is going to get a lot of viewers for the first quarter.
Well, because it's going to be Dion versus national title game appearance, Sonny Dykes and TCU in his first year.
Yeah, and then it'll be 28-3, and everyone's going to go, okay, what else is on?
Yeah. But before even all that, the only time he mentioned a college, he was talking about how just through and through Texas, Josh Young was. He's from Texas. He went to Texas Tech, plays for the Rangers, grew up a Rangers fan. I was like, hell yeah, he said Texas Tech. Josh Young is a Ranger.
I went to school there too, man.
Josh Young was a Texas Tech Red Raider.
Beautiful.
Starters have been pulled. I think he played the first 5 innings or so. I think he went hitless, but there was a really close play at first. He had a chopper up the third base line. Austin Riley from the Braves had to barehand it and threw him out. Nearly replay worthy close of a play. But For Rangers fans, like Adolis Garcia first play of the game had a highlight reel catch and right. Participated in the home run derby last night, was eliminated, but didn't have the fewest number of home runs, which was, a consolation, I guess. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. won it for those that didn't watch. Entertaining on most levels. Not like Josh Hamilton entertaining, because that was but
historic.
yeah, but there was a guy, the guy from the Mariners, I'm blanking on his name, Rodriguez, hit 41 home runs in one of the rounds, which was unbelievable to watch. And there are 3 rounds for those that compete in the championship round, which he didn't make it out of the championship round. Sorry, he didn't make it to the championship round. It was Guerrero. No, yeah, it was Guerrero versus Rodriguez. Anyways, cool that Guerrero won it. And of course they flash back and show that his dad won it in 2007 or 2008, whenever it was. And there were pictures of Vlad Guerrero on the field after he won it with Junior there next to him as like a 7 or 8 year old kid. And then of course he's there winning it now. Anyways, the pomp and circumstance of the All-Star game, All-Star break is coming to a close. Top of the 9th. Been a good game. Entertaining. Best of the best of the best, sir. Rangers fans had a good showing, like I said, with Simeon and Seager and Young and Garcia and Heim as starters. And then you had Evaldi come in to pitch the second, which is, I know I mentioned to Michael, that was only the 3rd time in MLB history that a team has had 6 players on the field at the same time in an All-Star game. Last time it happened was in 1951, so it's been 72 years. So
Was Dwight Eisenhower president
I don't know
in 1951?
American history
Was
presidents
Truman
that
still
way.
president?
Let's see. American president, 1951. Truman, you got it. 45 to 53.
Yikes.
Eisenhower came after him.
Okay.
Roosevelt
I
was
knew I had
before
the
him.
order right, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, I don't know presidents. The draft wrapped up tonight. Red Raiders so far under Tim Tadlock. No, sorry, just Red Raiders. The graphic has Tadlock in it, but this is all time. It has 198 all-time draft picks. Add Brandon Beckel to that list, 199.
For those slow to add, that's 1.
Hold
we
on.
had 1 this year.
The recording stopped.
Oh no! Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just says
okay.
that it stopped recording.
Weird.
Someone else is already recording on this account.
I promise I didn't touch anything.
No, I know. It's probably just. Oh, this is so stupid.
It still looks like it's recording on my side, but who knows what that means.
Only your recording stopped due to your hardware limitations. Others continue to record.
Oh, so you're okay. So I am still recording, but that's not helpful.
First, close all running apps and tabs and rejoin the studio. All right. Let me back out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So stupid. All right. What is the counter on your recording?
I don't have a counter.
You don't see it like a okay.
I don't think I've ever had one since I'm not the one hitting record. So sorry.
Nope, that's fine. Well, I'm sure it'll, like there'll be a pretty clear stop where mine drops
Yeah.
off or whatever. Okay, we'll just pick up where we were.
Yeah, sounds good.
So Texas Tech has 198 all-time draft picks. Add one for Brandon Beckel, 199, 64 under Tadlock, so now 65. 32 drafted in the first 10 rounds. 41 pitchers selected, make it 42 now for Tadlock, and then 2 first-round picks since 2019. Beckel today went in the 12th round to the Phillies.
The Phillies.
The Philadelphia Phillies. Quick update on the transfer portal since we last talked. Your pitching staff was decimated further with Mason Molina hitting the portal. Yeah. He gone.
Yeah, that's not great. And he's set to go where? Or has that been confirmed? I've just seen some scuttlebutt.
I haven't seen confirmed that he's gone anywhere or announced a commitment anywhere. And looking at that, I was kind of irritated that he still had Texas Tech all over his account.
Well, maybe he thinks he can come back. Maybe he thinks it's not officially over. He's just testing the waters. Yeah.
Yeah, but if we take Tadlock's word for it, when a player hits a portal, basically say don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah.
He gone.
Which, how do you feel about this one? Because
this one sucks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
This
huge
one,
baseball knower of baseball over here, and I was immediately like, this one is like the worst one, possibly, except for maybe Cash that I could think of.
Yeah, to lose Cash would hurt. To lose Bazell would hurt.
But I feel like we've got more bats than pitchers, so you could almost
after this
right? I don't know.
Now
so you could almost talk me into losing a bat and being going, I was as much as that stinks, at least we'd still have Molina. And I can't say that.
On the flip side, though, the way that the pitching staff kind of rounded out the season, especially in the region, like you felt really good about Petty and Rogers and what they might be able to give to you. That's just going to be a big step, and there's going to be a lot of progress needing to have happened between now and next February. Whereas Molina was there, he was going to be your guy. I mean, this one sucks, like losing what's his face to the Aggies a couple years ago. Dallas,
yeah,
Micah Dallas.
Yeah.
You lost another guy to Oklahoma and Brendan Girton. He figured to be a key piece of your rotation this year. Was one of your starters start the season, then was coming out of the bullpen for a while, then just fell off at the end of the season. So there's that. All right.
Is there any good baseball news aside from Josh Young being awesome?
Well, Beckel being drafted in the 12th. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Lots of guys are still playing in the summer league. Guys that, like, when I was looking for, have they landed in a transfer spot yet? Like Jarrett Curtis, Ryan Brome, Dylan Carter. They're all still playing. Brome, for his summer league team just a few days ago, hit for the cycle. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, man, could have used that.
Wouldn't have been too bad.
Wouldn't have been too bad at all. That would have been the first cycle since Josh did it at New Mexico a few years ago. 2016 or whatever. All right. Let's move on. Talk some basketball, Michael.
Yes, some hoops.
Some hoops.
Some summer hoops.
We got
get in the know. Talk some hoops.
Michael, you're full of surprises and voices and
none of them are good, but they're here. They're all in my head.
impressions. That's the word I was looking for. Golly. Wow, my computer is wigging out. I would start the intro to basketball. And okay, here it is. So let's jump over to basketball, Michael. All right, this is fantastic, Michael.
Did you just turn the camera off?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't see anything yet. I mean, I don't need to. We could keep rolling. I'm good. Just FYI, I finally found the counter, and we're at 33 minutes, 39 seconds right now.
All right, hold on. I'm going to step back out and come back in. Just 1 second.
Okay.
All right. This is going to be a joy to piece together in editing tomorrow.
I know. I feel for you.
I don't even know what the hell is happening. All right, let's jump into basketball.
Okay.
Here comes Stevenson. Spins. It is stuck back by the freshman sensation Smith.
Pass over the top. McCormick in the crowd stripped by Owens. Moretti on the run. Bounce pass. Here's Culver.
Evans.
Yes! Game over!
Mooney with a crossover and the lob to Owens.
Now the shot clock is at 3. Mooney spins, fires. Oh, he got it to go. Edwards with a 3. Good! What a shot, Kyler Edwards. Moretti doubled into Tariq. Owens who puts it down. Moretti. Odiasi crowbars it in. Shot clock down to 5. Got the screen. Here's a 3. Good!
Culver got the separation. Oh, big shot. Stepping up big time. Dagger. Culver with the dish. Odiase. And one. He can tie it at the line.
That's it. There's a new member of the Final Four Club, and they hail from Lubbock, Texas.
All right. Update on the All-Star game really quickly, Michael. American League is down to their last strike. Kyle Tucker was up to bat, had a full count, 3-2. Watched a very ball 4. So tying run is on. Oh, excuse me. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Facing Craig Kimbrell, a goofy right-hander that leaves his arm out, hanging out when he's doing his setup. Who's he facing? Oh, it's the Mariner. He's facing Rodriguez, hometown kid. Got the rally caps, got a rally shoe going.
Would you like a Lubbock map update in the middle of your baseball update?
Would love one. They're hosting a playoff game
Yes.
match tonight.
Yes.
Is it over?
They
Is it gone final?
curb stomped San Antonio.
Oh, love to hear that.
6 6-0 or 6-0.
6-0. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't
Go
bloody well
Mozos.
know. So yeah, so Matadors move on to the Lone Star Championship. I just thought I'd pass that on, because if we weren't going to go out of town and all that kind of stuff, we're really going to try to go to that tonight, but we just got too much stuff going. And I don't think I showed you this earlier, but the last Matador game I went to, I got a Whataburger TP thing
Mm-hmm.
with a 23 on the back. I guess that's for the year. And
No,
then,
that's for us, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. What am I thinking?
You just showed that and be like,
holy crap, man!
holy smokes,
dudes! And then the Matador logo on the other side. So I like
which
it.
is pretty sweet logo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good logo. It's got cotton bowls on it. I mean, what do you in a bull? It's beautiful. West Texas.
They also
Texas forever.
to wrap up the season, they went out to Midland, had El Dustico,
Yes.
won that match, so they got the trophy,
Got the
which is
coveted
a tumbleweed, golden
on a
tumbleweed.
plaque. Yeah. It's beautiful. Embrace it. Embrace the Dust Coast, as Goodline would say.
Yeah, man, they're killing it in their second year. I wanted to go to a match this year. I wanted to take it in, especially since they're going to be they're at Cooper this year. They're playing just down the road from us.
Y'all could almost walk there.
Yeah, I mean, if the match was still going on, I could walk outside and then hear what was happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Because between us and Cooper High School, the football field is a big open field of cotton, I believe at this point. I don't know what they're planning.
But y'all should, yeah. I mean, I know with 3 kids, especially with your youngest being extremely young, it's tough, but it's fun. I mean, it's totally worth it. I don't know if they'll be at Cooper next year or not, but parking was never a big deal. Getting in and out was never a big deal. It was pretty flawless. We only went to 2, but they were a lot of fun. And yeah, and not just you, Spencer, but anybody listening in the Lubbock area, go check them out. They're a fun time, and you can sit on the north side. You can be close to the dang it, what do they call themselves?
The Mozos?
Yes. You can be close to those guys, and they're making noise the entire game if you want to, and get in on the chance, and or you could sit way far away, whatever you want to do. But it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out. And I don't know if they'll be there again next year or not. We'll see. I know the ultimate goal is to gain enough traction, get enough interest to have their own, their own pitch somewhere out here in West Texas, but we're probably still a few years away from that. Oh, so basketball, what's going on?
Hold on though, before we get to basketball.
We played the intro and
we haven't talked basketball yet. No, I'm gonna drop it in. And what do we learn? We made a trip out to Midland to watch Midland Rockhounds game. We're gonna drop that in here.
Oh, all right, okay. I'm anxious to hear about that later. So that's what they call a tease in the biz.
Yeah, it's a hook to keep you in to the end, hour and a half episode.
All the Rockhound fans were just about to turn it off, and they're like, "Oh no, gotta wait."
Well, so the best segue would have been talking about how Grant McCaslin had the ceremonial first kick tonight at the match to get everything started, and we can talk about basketball. But then I tried to talk about baseball again, and I messed all the flow up. And
yeah, I had that totally queued up, man. I was gonna nail that. I'm a professional. I can't even say the word. That's how professional I am.
Professional.
So
I'm also really interested in going to the basketball tournament and the Lubbock regional Lubbock bracket, hosted of course by the Air Raiders, number 1 seed here is the host. I did see something kind of ridiculous. Tickets on the secondary market for the basketball tournament. She wanted $80 a piece.
What?
For 2 tickets in section 112 and like row 18, so what even like front row.
I am, and like 10 other people I know, somehow I am going. I got a ticket, and somehow we're all in section 111. So
Where did you secure said ticket? For those that
uh,
are possibly looking for tickets. Is it
through AXS access or what, AXS website. And I looked today before we got online, Spencer, and there's still like $25 because that's what I paid for mine. And the range was 25 or 30, and most of the 30s were all sold out, but the 25s were still
It says
available.
tickets are coming soon. The BOGO special,
That's weird.
which is what this
Well,
person
I don't know. I bought these like a week or two ago.
this person bought tickets and then showed the screenshot that she bought them on a BOGO, but then wants obvious like 3 times face value for each ticket. She's trying to make 6 times her investment here.
That is insane.
I mean, good luck to you, sister, but anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. TBT round 1. Austin Zone. Yeah.
It says tickets go on sale April 28th, but their website says coming soon. I don't understand it.
I got you, man.
Anyways,
I got
all
you.
right.
I got you.
National League.
I'm going to send you a link.
National League did close out that game. They did have runners on first and second, but Craig Kimbrell finally stopped walking people. I guess the biggest thing we can talk about is Bob Huggins, Michael. I don't know how much I believe or who to believe. But I don't know. So he got himself wrapped up in a DUI situation, public intoxication, DUI. I can't even remember exactly what it is. So I'm not going to try to slander the man. Libel. I'm not going to try to get into kind of libel conversations here, but had something to do with being intoxicated or under the influence of something somewhere at the wrong time. Right?
Correct.
Allegedly.
Let's throw in some more qualifiers in there.
Story comes out. His daughter comes to his defense. Had that ridiculous story that he was trying to return something or trying to, I don't know. It was weird. I couldn't even comprehend it because it was so outlandish.
Yeah, all of this stuff, I have to admit, everything everyone's posted about it, whether it was his daughter or him or the West Virginia lawyers, I have not read it because it's all like 4 screenshots of single space words, and I'm like, I'm happy for you. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, and for that reason, I'm out.
Well, very recently,
you might have to give me the Cliff Notes version.
Well, so very recently, Huggins came out and said, "I never resigned." But West Virginia, when they announced that he had resigned, had a statement from Bob Huggins and said, all the things that you'd expect in this kind of PR type of statement, all that. Huggins came out through his lawyers and said, "Hey, so like after the incident, like I was in communication with the athletic department in the university. I checked into self-checked into some treatment options. The statement that was released did not come from me. It was not approved by me. Like he's claiming, or his defense is that like he never officially resigned, so he's still an employee of the university.
Sure.
Which is wild because like I had some questions when I saw a transfer commit to West Virginia. I was like, what? How? Like, there's nobody there. Like the whole team is in the portal. They don't have a coaching staff. And then like the next day, Huggins is like, "I'm still here, guys." So I don't know what to believe. This is going to be wild. I'm sure. I wouldn't put it past a PR individual, and this is my field, right? So like I'm throwing myself under the bus here. To have drafted a statement from the coach. If the university had decided they were going to separate from the coach, draft a statement and go the route where they were like, "Hey, we're gonna say that you resigned, so we're not coming out and saying you were terminated because of all the connotations that comes with it." And I think it was very clear that was the path the university was headed towards, right? Like this was bad, and not even, it was like 5 weeks after he got in trouble for the comments he made.
Oh yeah, on that radio show.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he hadn't even really recovered from that, outside of it just being in the off season of basketball, and like nobody's talking about it because nobody's talking about college basketball right now. And then this happened, so it's like he's probably done. That's wild, man. For him to come out like,
Yes.
I never resigned, and I don't doubt that statement could have been put together and released on his behalf, and just like, we're just gonna say it and whatever. But then I think like, well, what are the ramifications of like the differences between resignation from the coach or termination from the university? It probably has to come down to settlement, and right, they have to pay out the rest of his contract and all that kind of stuff. Whereas a resignation, they don't. So
Yeah.
like the university's
But
going to
the
have to come up
university-
with that. Like, hey, we will pay you your, what is that term? Like, why am I blank on that?
Well, I feel like
his
severance.
buyout. But
It's not-
it's got a
not
certain
really
term
severance either.
for coaches though. It's their
Cushion, their free money, the money that Matt Wells is still getting.
is he still
Money
being
that-
paid by the university?
Oh,
I wouldn't-
probably. Hell, I don't know.
Is Cliff Kingsbury still being paid by Texas Tech?
I mean, there's nothing harder and easier than being a Power 5 coach. It's like the best thing to ever get fired from. But you know, I would imagine within their contract they have some way where they could terminate him with cause.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure
So
they
this
could.
it's semi-similar to, you know, how UT took their sweet time figuring out what they could do with Chris Beard before they actually did anything. And so I think this may be where West Virginia's heading, is they've got to make sure they have all their ducks in a row before they officially let him go. But like you said, it may just come down to, okay, obviously Huggins is going to fight us tooth and nail on this, unless we can come up with an ironclad way for our lawyers to convince the court and everybody else, or whoever they have to, that he is being fired with cause. There will be no payout of his contract. There will be no even partial payout, blah, blah, blah. And unless we can do that, we should just settle with him, and that may be what he's shooting for. I don't understand it completely. I'm sure there's a way to access that contract since it's a public university, but I have not read it. And honestly, even if I had read it, I would probably be going, "What? What's all this mean? I don't know what it means." So it's just shocking to me. I had a friend of mine text me about it, and he said that one of the lawyer's defenses was that the email saying he resigned, or, you know, the email to West Virginia, came from Huggins' wife's email account. And my friend and I both agreed, like, there's no way Bob Huggins knows whose damn email account he's using when he sits down at his home laptop. He doesn't know. There's
Just
a window
opens up
open.
Google
He's
or
just compose
email.
so-and-so at wvu.edu.
I wonder if he has to
Signed
get
Bob.
that off the university website.
Do you think his signature is like best Bob,
Bobby.
or do you think it's just
Regards.
Bob, or do you think it's Love Bob? I hope it's the last one, because that would just throw everybody off.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So
What's
anyways,
yours? What's yours at work?
thanks.
Mine is thanks. Even if it's not something I'm thanking them for, it's just always thanks, because I don't know what
No,
else to do.
but related to that really quickly, I was talking to Samantha about people's out of office responses. because it was
Yes.
like it was
I
in,
had
it was
one
in,
recently.
in a
Oh, no.
Alexa's commercial tonight, and it said thank you for your email. I was like, never including that in my out of office because I'm never thankful for your email.
I got
I
one
don't
of those
want it.
today.
I don't want it.
I sent it to a guy who I know for a fact is not thankful for my email, and that was his office reply. And I was like, "No, you are not, brother. You
Probably
are
like-
not thankful for this email."
Not looking forward to hearing from you and getting
Yeah.
whatever. It's like,
I just
Yeah.
leave it short and sweet. I'm just like, I will be out of the office until blank day. That
Yeah,
way
I'm
they
like-
don't know, that way they don't know when I left. That way no one's like, oh, look at you coming back for, they don't know when I started the away message. They just know when I'll be back, and that's all they need to know.
that's how I write mine too. It's like, hey, I'm out of the office and will return on this date. I will not be checking email. If you need
Oh, I don't
something,
say that either. They'll find that out.
if you need something, here's my boss. You reach out to her.
Yeah, I do give them the office number. I don't even tell them who to call. Just like, just call the office. Somebody
Well,
might help you.
We have
Best
a
of luck. I'm on vacay, bro.
we have a bad precedent and environment set in our organization that like people will check and respond to emails when they're on PTO. So it's like it's almost like
check.
even expected. Like if somebody like if you get out of office, that like you still could get a response from them. Because there have been times when like I've come back because I will if I have my out of office on, I will also turn my notifications off. It's like I don't want to be hearing the email stuff come through.
No.
I get a little shot of anxiety every time that email notification goes off. It's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Like your phone beeps, your watch buzzes, your icon in your bottom right of your computer goes off. It's like, okay, that's enough.
But yeah, like they were like, well, I expected to hear back from you. I was like, I was on vacation, and that was said as such in my out of office. Like that expectation was unreasonable for you to have. Well, will somebody else in your office respond and they had out of office? I was like, I don't know what to tell you. They never
They're
shut their computer
certifiable.
off.
I don't know them. We're not on the same wavelength. We don't have the same synergy. So yeah,
Anyways.
I used to be, I still check, but I rarely actually respond unless I'm responding to someone within my company. Like if I feel like it would be helpful it's on some email I'm copied on. And so then I will respond to who will probably have to deal with it since I'm gone. I may respond to them directly and be like, hey, here's a few other things you might need to know, or here's this, or here's that. But I really just try not to do it anymore.
I try to have all those like prepped and like sent like, hey, if you get asked about this project, like here's what you need to know. But also the nature of what I do for my job, for my company, like nothing is really that urgent. So
there's a handful of things that are urgent with mine, but
I
if I'm not
100%
there are
like,
people who can deal with it. So it's like, I mean, yes, it might get done slightly faster if it was a project that I actually worked on. I might could get an answer to that person faster in an emergency, but there are capable folks there who can absolutely handle it.
So
Anyway,
to wrap that up,
sorry.
I think Huggins signs his emails with cheers. So
Cheers! Exclamation point or no? It's just
No.
all lowercase.
all lower XO.
Cheers,
just kidding.
Bob. XO. Gossip Girl, Bob.
Because it's coming like one of those preset signatures from the Hotmail account his daughter logged in as, and
Oh, I hope if he ever sends an email on his phone, it's just like from my Samsung Galaxy S43-674 BR549823 calories smartphone. 4G, 5G, 8G plus.
I don't want to go down another tangent, but just because you mentioned it, the automatic, the standard or default signatures on both, like on Androids and on
they're terrible
on Apple's. Like, why do they care if it came from my phone? Like, I don't.
Sent from
Oftentimes, like I don't want them to know I was on my phone. I know I can't have the same formatting on a signature from my phone as it will come from Outlook if it was on my laptop, but they are set up as close as they can be to the same. So I don't want to let somebody know that I read and responded to their email from my phone when maybe the expectation was I was sitting at my desk.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I almost want people to know I'm from my phone, because then I feel like maybe
you're
they'll
being a jerk
understand
right
that they're
now.
bothering me.
Sent from my iPhone.
Sent from my iPhone at peace in my house. Now,
Yeah, it's
now
like
go back to what you're doing.
10:49 p.m. Sent from my iPhone. I was
Yes.
like, I was in. Speaking of West Virginia basketball, and everybody hit the transfer portal. McCaslin, I don't know if it's been 1,000, but he's well over the Mendoza line on the number of transfers, number of guys that he's got committed that he got to campus. Latest one is West Virginia guard transfer Joe Toussaint. Last year averaged 22 minutes per game, 9.4 points, shooting 37.5% from the field, just under 33% from three, and almost 79% from the line. It's a small guard, 6-foot guard, so probably won't see him and Pop on the court at the same time. But you got a senior with 4 years, at least 3 years of playing experience. Look, I don't know if he's like one of those COVID seniors or because he played. I thought I heard that he had played 3 years at Iowa, then transferred to West Virginia.
He was definitely at Iowa first. Yeah.
Anyways, so he'll be here. I believe that brings you up to 12 scholarship players.
Yes.
And the thought was to leave one open for a midterm type transfer.
Yeah. According to Seth's eligibility chart over on stakingtheplains.com, one of my favorite things he does, he's on eligibility chart version 8, because there's been a lot of movement, folks. But with that one, yes, there are 12 scholarship players with Jack Francis as your 13th player and listed as a walk-on.
Yep. All right. Let's transition to football really quickly, Michael.
Okay.
Chuck keeps it himself. Made 2 guys miss. Touchdown! To now the end zone. Picked off, and it's picked off. Pick 6. Jeffers.
Schlager able to escape, and then picked off. Back-to-back turnovers, and Waters one or the other way.
20,
down the
10.
sideline.
Touchdown.
Pick 6. 70 yards. Marquise Waters. Play fake. Finds Tharp again, and he's in the end zone for his first collegiate touchdown.
The deep ball down the middle, and it's caught. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Miles Price, 39 yards for the score. Play action, Purdy. Intercepted. Picked off at the 20-yard line.
Smith to throw
Wide open.
Has a man downfield, and Texas Tech finds the end zone. It's McLean Mannix.
Brooks to the left side, to the 5, touchdown, Red Raiders. Smith, buying a little time, throwing to the back of the end zone, caught, touchdown.
Tied at 38, 3 seconds to go, 62-yard try. Garibay has his foot into it. It may be long enough. It is good! It is good! It is good! Jonathan Garibay has won the game with a 62-yard field goal! Oh my God, can you believe that? Woo!
So I was playing with this little phone holder, and I broke it.
Man.
It's like something you put your phone in, like, so you could prop it up on the desk, and it
Oh, gosh.
just came apart because I was being stupid. Anyways, Michael, did you see the flurry of tweets regarding uniforms? Not specifically for Texas Tech, but they did get in on it a little bit later. I can start with Kansas. Getting some new threads.
Oh, I get it now. Because threads. Threads
Yeah.
instead of Twitters.
Anyways, but it had me thinking though, Michael, because Texas Tech did put their own little tweet out about it. And I'm sure it was just because it was all in the excitement or the flurry of tweets coming out about everybody's new Threads account, and they just hopped on just the pun there. But the pictures they released were mostly of the throwback uniforms.
At least
And I was
halfly.
like, are we gonna see some why can't I think of words tonight, Michael?
I don't know. Flat double T's?
Sure, that too, but like, are we gonna see them utilize these Southwest era throwbacks and feature them more prominently in the rotation this year? People are asking, Michael.
Well, I would like to, the last uniform with the black helmet, white jersey, and the black pants, it has a flat double T on the helmet. And I think on the socks, which I've never really looked at the socks, never really cared. But I'm going to need me some of these socks, man. If that's a flat double T on the front.
You gonna wear it as like a dress sock under your slacks to work?
Shoot, I'll wear shorts. Summer of exposed legs.
It does look
Puppies
like
will breathe.
like a white sock,
Mm-hmm.
3 stripes, black, red, black, and then a flat double T on the front of the ankle.
Yeah, on your shin, basically.
Yeah, your high ankle, low shin.
Yeah, let's get that going. And then also, okay, scroll back with me. So, do you have these pulled up?
I do.
So, the all-white uniform. I see a flat double T on the front of the helmet, or am I making that up? But then all the other double T's are the bevel.
I think it's just too small. I think that's a traditional 3D.
Okay. I would believe either thing, and I bet you're right, because that would be weird for them to mix up double T's on the helmet. So that makes more sense.
Well, but go back and look at the all black throwbacks with the 3 stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that helmet.
Gosh, those look good.
I think that double T on the front of the helmet is 3D.
You think so? It's hard to tell.
What do you think about the holes in the numbers that you can see in the throwbacks, like in the middle, kind of like a gradient, where it gets like bigger, more visible holes, like old school jerseys would, had the mesh,
Like a splash of the mesh.
yeah, through the middle of the number.
Because it doesn't
it's in
seem
both.
needed. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
seem
it's-
needed, but I don't have an issue with it.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, just leave it. Just leave it solid.
Yeah, that is interesting. And it's something, honestly, I would have never noticed. Now I can't not notice it. I'm the worst at picking apart uniforms, why I like or don't like something. But I like these. I like all of them, pretty much. They're all pretty good.
Yeah. So
But I
of
do
these 4
prefer
combinations,
that all black is definitely my favorite.
well, I was gonna say of the 4 combinations that I think you would see most often, you get the black, red, black, which I think is the home daytime standard uniform, which I would be okay with. Like you wear this in day games or games that started in the day. Probably my favorite combination. I think it just shows up really well. The white numbers, the black outline. All whites, white helmet, white shirt, white pants. I like those. I like, if you're going to wear an all white, I think your opponent should be wearing an all color too. I don't think both teams should have like white pants.
Yeah.
I don't know why that bothers me.
Powder blue or something.
I
or
can't
whatever,
stand powder
yeah.
blue alternates, man.
I like it when it's when they're not trying too hard, like when it's a team that actually has some powder blue.
Yeah.
historically.
The all black throwbacks
Yeah.
could get down on, and then the throwback for the road, the black helmet, white shirt, black pants. Anyways, I like all four of them. I like the all. Well, yeah.
Those
I
throwback
think
helmets are so hard to beat. I love the 3 stripes on the top, the white, red, white stripe on a black helmet.
is the Bass Boat glitter helmet old enough to be throwback yet?
Yes.
Because I will
Sadly,
duck and say, kind of liked him.
Oh, I'm not going to be ashamed of that at all.
It was a strange thing. Like,
I loved them.
why on earth would you put glitter on a helmet? Like, but I'm like,
So you could see them under the lights. They need to be seen. It's a flashy team.
the all whites are probably my least favorite of those four.
I could get behind that, but
It's probably because when Tuberville first brought them out, like the helmet had like the 3 stripes on it, and like one of the stripes was blue or something. It like
oh yeah,
it didn't work. It was so Auburn. It was like, nah, man, nah, leave that in Alabama, brother.
I think the white uniform I enjoyed the most was the throwback helmets with the stars, like the white throwback helmets with the stars on them.
Okay, I don't remember those, but
because I feel like on this white uniform, I don't really care for the metallic red stripe on the helmet. I think they should just go with a matte scarlet stripe on the helmet and just kind of or do 2 stripes. Apparently, I'm a fan of helmet stripes, Spencer. So we might disagree on whatever Tuberville did, even though
it was like
say that out loud.
It was like they took an Auburn helmet, peeled off the Auburn logo, but not the stripes, and put a Texas Tech logo on it. Because I think it was like a bluish type of stripe on it, man.
It would be like him to completely, what is it, tubfiscate? To just completely make something up or say something happened that didn't happen, or say something is one way when everyone else in the world knows that that's not true and it's the other.
Okay, so they played at New Mexico 2010. I think that's when they rolled it out. Oh my god. I forget how bad that was. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can send this to you somehow.
Okay. Are you gonna send it in the doc?
Or you know what? No, I'm just gonna share my screen.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it was that the old jersey style with like the black stripe coming down off the shoulders that went to a red.
Yeah.
Which I like that, but then the helmet design, oh my, this is good. Okay, share screen. All right, this is for everybody's viewing pleasure.
Oh, that's a lot of stripe. Yeah. So basically,
It wasn't
black,
blue.
white,
It was
red, white, black.
Yeah, it was a fat red stripe down the middle, and then a little bit of a gap, and then 2 black stripes on the outside of it. But there was a space between the red and the black stripe. It looked a lot like the Auburn helmets.
Not a fan of whatever's going on with the legs on the pants either.
Well, I liked those uniforms, but my goodness, man, that's just
It's a new era. It's a new era at Tech football. We're gonna have some championships.
because like here, let's let me show you these really quickly. This is great podcasting, by the way.
It's fine.
Because the stripes that lined up from the shirt to the pants, like I don't know, man. I liked these. I liked these uniforms, man. So you had the stripe coming down.
Oh, okay.
Down the ribs of the jersey, then it went to the hip of the pants, and then it flared back out down the leg.
So he's showing a photo of the infamous 2010. Oh no, that one wasn't infamous. But
No,
the,
it's one that we won because of
yeah.
Matt Williams was able to hit field goals.
Yes, in Boulder. That's it was the last time Tech played in Boulder, I guess.
Also, this
Didn't they leave in
combination,
2011?
yeah, the black, red, white. Nope,
Yeesh.
we did that a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not. There's some people that really like that, but I like either all the same color or two of one and one of the other.
See, I don't like the black
three
helmet,
different colors.
red shirt, red pants.
I don't mind that. I don't like three different. I don't. I've never been a fan. Oh, good Texas Pride. Let's add some blue. Throw some blue in there. Looks like an XFL team, or a team that you would build in a knockoff version of Madden.
Anyways, okay, that was fun.
Like if there
Football.
was Gruden football, that's what you would. That was the team you would build. Gruden football 23.
That was a lot of uniform talk.
That's what we're known for.
Recruiting updates really quickly. We did talk about this guy when he first hit the portal that Texas Tech was showing interest, the defensive back transfer from Baylor, Adonis McCarty. And then there was an immediate Texas Tech offer, did commit to the Red Raiders. Not a surprise there. I believe he probably was a McGuire and Nance recruit there for the Bears. So he's announced his commitment since we last recorded. And then 2 defensive backs and 2 athletes, but I think all 4 of these high schoolers are going to be defensive backs. Ashton Hampton, 6'1", 170 from Pearland. Athlete Oliver Miles III, 6'2", 170 from El Campo. Athlete Peyton Morgan, 6'1", 175 from Pflugerville. And then defensive back Isaiah Collins, 6'3", 186 from Huntsville. I said Ville differently. Pflugerville, Huntsville. Pflugerville.
Program. It's fine.
Either way. 5 new defensive backs. DBU, as Michael said earlier, no Micah Hudson yet.
Okay.
All right. Because of the issues we had recording, I don't even know how long we are right now, but let's wrap this up with what did we learn? What do you say, Michael?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
All right. Quick going yard update. Bermuda has taken off. My whole yard is Bermuda. I love it. The front yard. I busted out the reel mower last weekend. The manual one.
Did you get one? I mean,
I
obviously
did.
you did, but I think the last time we talked about it, you hadn't gotten it yet. I'm not sure.
So I got a manual one because I said I couldn't commit to paying $500 or $600 to mow just the front yard with it. I could probably mow the backyard, but it's neither yard is really set up and really ready to be real mowed super short. But this one can go down to 1/2 inch, which is plenty short. And it's actually pretty low as it is. It's not as low. I don't have it set as low as it'll go. I think it's probably 1 or 2 settings above that, but it's under 1 inch when I mow it. I'm able to do the front yard with this front and side yards with it in like 5 minutes. So like I can be out there every other day and not really feel like it's all that big of a burden to keep it mowed short. I put some fertilizer down and it like went from there being a lot of dead ryegrass you could see in some Bermuda to like a lot of really green and nice looking Bermuda and some ryegrass. I don't know how long that ryegrass is going to stick around and just still be brown. I don't know, man. It may just have to trample it down and whatever. But the Bermuda is old and mature enough now. I can start spraying for weeds and really get this thing locked in. I'm excited about that. Now it's going to be too hot to spray the next couple of days, but yeah, man, I got the reel mower out. Got it cut real nice and low out front. Looks real good.
Real good.
Real good.
Good job.
So I talked about us going to Midland earlier, went to a Rockhounds game. And I know that Lubbock was in the running for the team that ended up in Amarillo, but like I was there and it was a good, fun environment. And I was like, Lubbock could do this. Lubbock should be doing this, having a minor league team. it was an enjoyable time for all of us. Like the wife went, all 3 kids went. The weather that night, it was Friday the 30th. It rained a lot that day, so it was pretty humid even for Midland. And the way the stadium is sitting, like when you walk in from the ground level from the parking lot, you're at the top of the section. So the stadium, the playing surface and the seats are all they're below ground level, essentially. It's fine, except for a day like that when it was hot and muggy, there was no wind from where we were sitting. So the kids only lasted through like the first 3 innings. We had to get up. They had a couple playgrounds in the outfield that they could see from our seats. Like, we want to go over there. I was like, I know you do. I know. We're going to watch baseball. And then we just couldn't do it anymore because it was and then there was a splash pad out there in center field, which the boys absolutely loved. We weren't ready for it. We didn't even know they had a splash pad, so they didn't have clothes to change into, but didn't stop them from getting absolutely soaked, which is fine. It was fun. And then we left. We probably ended up having to leave about the 7th inning because of just the time it would take us to get back and the feeding schedule with the little one. But yeah, man, I honestly think that Lubbock could do this. Like they could host a minor league team and put something together and have great turnouts throughout the summer, man.
Well, and I wasn't here when the Crickets were here, so I'm not really sure how all that went because Abilene was close to where I grew up, so I got to go to a lot of Prairie Dogs games growing up over there in Abilene, and those were always fun as kids. But I think to back you up, I mean, what we've seen with the Matadors, I mean, they're averaging, this may not sound like a lot to some people, but I don't know about averaging, but the 2 games I've been to, it's been over 4,000 people. And so tonight it looked even more packed. So, I mean, they may get 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 people out to watch a soccer game in 102-degree heat in a July night. I mean, I think Lubbock could potentially support a baseball team kind of with maybe not that same type of numbers because there's just more games. There's just more baseball games. There's fewer soccer games. So they're obviously going to be a little bit more of a concentrated turnout. But yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing it right before our eyes that there is room for more than just Texas Tech sports in Lubbock or just Lubbock Christian sports in Lubbock.
And like I said, I know that they were in contention to host or to home the team that ended up being in Amarillo, the Sod Poodles. So I don't know if like a team would have to leave their current spot or they have to open up a new expansion type team or maybe if if Nashville gets their own MLB franchise, like as an expansion team, like you can go get one of their minor league programs, but that's going to be a long way away from their home base. But Midland, the Rockhounds are a part of the A's organization. And we saw them play the Corpus Christi Hooks, which are part of the Astros. But I thought it was strange that the Rockhounds were with the A's out here in Midland, Texas. Not here, but if you look at the population, Lubbock is twice as big as Midland. If you add in Odessa, they get close to what Lubbock is combined, but you got the population base here, especially with the success we've seen at Texas Tech and their baseball. Like you've got some baseball fans here.
Oh, for sure.
You've got a great youth baseball movement here too. Like it's one of the biggest sports out here for youth sports. Especially
I don't know how many people travel to Arlington to see the Rangers every year. I mean, who knows? And I'm not saying that this would replace that, but
no,
there's definitely some. I'm just saying that there are folks that interested in baseball that they make the trek to Arlington probably multiple times to see some professional ball.
Well, I know
in the summer, and that those same folks, they still may go to Arlington the same amount, but they they'll spend I don't know, 3-5 games or something watching the Lubbock
Crickets.
What they would be. Sure, let's go back. Let's just throw it back to the Crickets. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think they could do it. The other thing I want to talk about, well, actually, there's two more things. Those that have Suddenlink or are aware of Suddenlink or Optimum, regardless of the rebrand, new name, new company owns, whatever it is, they still suck, man. I tried to go through some technical support today after we had a storm last night that knocked out power for a little bit. And it may have fried the router part of the modem router gateway device that they put in the house. We still have internet. Obviously, we're doing this podcast tonight. Everything that's connected to the wall is just fine. Although I did lose internet for a little bit earlier. But we can't get our phones or Grayson's switch to stay connected to Wi-Fi. It'll be on for 2 seconds and it'll disconnect. And I went through their technical support and I realized I have to deal with a lot of stupid people. But like they're like, "Did you turn it off? Turn it back on?" I was like, "Did that several times before I got on the phone with you today, man."
Yeah. But the first thing is not, oh, I want to get on the phone with tech support. That's a joy for everyone.
And then of course, like we got to the point like, "Would you like to schedule service?" Like, well, it's working right now, and I'd hate to send somebody out here and have to pay for a service call. Like, well, it's working. I don't know what you want me to do. So I told him no because it was working, but since then it's been spotty. So I was like, I can't. I'll have to call him back and be like, I need to schedule somebody to come out here. And then last thing, really quickly, I saw this tweet out there. Thailand Burger Kings, Michael, have released a new sandwich called the Real Cheeseburger.
Okay.
It has no meat, just 20 slices of American cheese between two bun halves.
And this is real.
It's a real thing. I saw a picture of it. Some
We're
of the
not
cheese
being catfished by a gigantic,
Burger King
figurative and
International
literal cheeseburger. It's just a cheese sandwich at that point. Is it a cheese melt? Is it like a?
Well, so I was gonna say only
it's not a burger.
Only some of the slices of cheese look like they were melted. The middle 16 slices probably look like they still had the pointed edges they got peeled out of their packaging with.
So not a very penetrating weld on this.
I don't even know where the heat would have come from because like the bun looked like it was maybe lightly toasted. It wasn't like a grilled cheese type, but anyways,
sit it on the dash of a car for 5 minutes and then hand it to somebody. Yeah, I don't know. This is fine. This is what the Americans eat. This is a real cheeseburger. 20 slices of American cheese.
Oh and I wonder like how much that is like a shot. Like they're making fun of Americans.
It's
have a real American cheeseburger. It's nothing but cheese.
Yeah, they've probably seen a lot of because we definitely have some burgers at different establishments that have like 3 pieces of cheese. Or I remember Steak and Shake made one that just instantly made my stomach hurt just thinking about it. But it was something like, I think it had cheese sauce and butter on it. Or I mean, it's like, come on, what are we doing? But anyway, what is okay? So we're talking 2,000 calories on that one.
Yeah, because
that's a clean 2,000 calories.
I think it's 2,000 calories in cheese alone, man. Like if you think like if the slice of cheese have like 190 or 100 calories, whatever it was we saw.
So 20 slices of American cheese would be the equivalent of what, like a quarter pound of Velveeta?
Give me a block of Velveeta,
like,
man.
Give me the Velveeta equivalent of 20 slices of American cheese.
Now, so you knock American cheese, and Samantha doesn't like it, but like I like if I want something that's
perfect on a burger,
like melted, like that's what
absolutely. I want. Oh no, I'm not knocking it, but I am knocking 20 pieces of it. That's a little much. 2, okay.
20,
10
still
times
big.
that.
All right, so what did you learn, Michael?
Okay. Back to food. We're still on food here. Over the years, I've bought different brands of sausages to grill with, or just throw in this air fryer or whatever. And I made a discovery that apparently I'm the only adventurous one in this regard, because years ago, my wife decided that she's only going to buy Opa's smoked meats, which is out of Fredericksburg, and there's probably a lot of y'all that have heard of it. Unbeknownst to me, she made that decision, but now looking back, it's clear that every time she bought sausage, it was that. But a lot of times she didn't get to buy it because I'd already bought it from some roadside person, or we were on a trip, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy some sausage, and then we'll cook it. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that great. Then I keep doing it though, and I keep doing it for like years. And I remember we went to this guy's house, and he made this jalapeno cheddar Opa's sausage, and it was really great. But I think I gave him the benefit of he just really knows what he's doing on the grill. He's just really good. But Allison took it more like, oh no, he just bought really good sausage. And so she found out what it was, and so she's been buying it ever since. And so I've finally come around. I made this epiphany years after she did, which is, kind of normal in probably most marriages, but definitely in mine. And so she bought some jalapeno cheddar Opa's sausages recently, and I threw them on the grill, and I just couldn't stop raving about how much I liked them and how good it was. And she's like, I know, it's the only sausage I ever buy. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, that's it. That's all I've bought for years. And then I realized, oh, it's because I keep bringing this other stuff home that's
Swill.
Sketchy track record. Yeah. But
well, I will say though,
I will say Conecuh sausage though is probably my favorite, but it's just hard to get here. But Opa's, man, it actually tastes like you can actually taste the jalapeno. It's not super spicy, but sometimes you get sausages like that have green chili or jalapeno in it, and you just see green specks, but you taste nothing.
Sure.
But the jalapeno sausage from these guys, you can actually taste it. You could taste the cheese. It's a good amount of cheese. It's not overbearing. It's just it's a really fine product. Not a sponsor.
I was gonna say, like, I've had good experiences with Red River Meats and All Hail Meats sausages.
I have not. I have not cooked All Hail Meat sausages yet. That's still in the freezer. So,
but I have not tried Opa's. I think United carries them, right?
Yes, I think they're everywhere.
So,
I would imagine HEB does, because they're really into South Texas stuff. So,
and onions, man, they're really about their onions. So yeah, I'll check them out. Everything store bought from like pre-made stuff, HEB branded, has just a lot of onions in it to me. We've done like salsa and guac and something like some kind of bean mix too, and it was like I can only taste raw onion.
They're in the pocket of big onion, you think?
I guess so.
Big tuber. Okay, I learned one other thing, Spencer.
Yep, what's that?
So, our family trip we were on last week was at a camp, and it was a really fun time. There are a lot of cool activities for us to do as a family, and you could participate if you wanted, you could not. I mean, it was really open, but I kind of got myself into something before I really realized what it was, and it was too late to turn back. So I committed to Via Ferrata, which I don't know if I'm saying it right, and I don't care because I'm never doing it again. But it's basically you hang off the side of a rock face, but so you're not climbing up the rock face, but someone's been there before you, and they've put in these anchor shackles into the rock, and then they've strung this cable, this steel or aluminum cable between the anchor shackles, and as you go, you have a lanyard that you kind of thread through. That way you can keep your bungee connected to you and your harness and all that kind of stuff. So there's these steel cables running laterally across this rock, and you're just basically walking laterally or horizontally along this rock. But it's hard. It's really hard, and it freaks you out, and my feet are too big, and I weigh too much, and I did not like it. If anyone looks up some Via Ferrata images, what I did was probably way less intense than some of the images that pop up instantly, but man, it was enough. I'll never do that again. Are you good? Would you be interested in that, Spencer? I can tell you're kind of looking.
I've been doing some searching on it, and I rock climbing has always been like a big no for me. So like having a cable to attach to, it's like, well, there's at least that aspect of it that should be kind of taken care of.
Yes.
But
then
no.
after, every time you have to, you meet a junction of that cable, you have to take your hand off and move I don't know. There's so many times where there's just 3 points of contact onto the wall, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's not my cup of tea either, man.
No.
And you were doing this in New Mexico?
Yes. And people had their kids up there, and the kids were all crying.
Oh gosh.
Because they were scared. And then I'd overhear the kids later like, "Oh, I was pretend crying," and I was like, "No, you weren't, my friend. I saw
you
those
were
crocodile
scared
tears
out of your gourd."
Yes, your pants are almost wet because you were that.
I want to go
scared.
back. Dad's like,
no,
"There's no turning around."
Yeah, that was truly it. I mean, man, we were all there were several of us kind of in it together. Luckily, my daughter, like, I'm not going to say chickened out, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. She backed out right as we started going, but I had already committed. I was already up the little ladder thing, and I was around the first big rock, and my heart was already pumping, and I was so glad.
I saw Dad do it. I didn't want nothing to do with that.
I think so. I was so glad that, because I was not giving off good vibes. If she had decided to come with me, I'd have been like, "Oh, I don't know how we're going to do this," and I probably would have said it out loud, which is not what you want to tell your 6-year-old. So I was not exuding confidence at all. It's the first time I've done any sort of rock climbing, anything. I don't even think I'd done a rock wall at a gym. But
I've done those. They're fine, but
well, it was told to me like, "Oh, it's kind of like a horizontal obstacle course thing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then I get up there like, "This is not."
Like whoever said that's fire.
This is so scary. But I'm not a heights person. I can be on a plane. I can be in a Ferris wheel. That's not a problem. But if I have to climb a ladder to get on my roof, look out. I might just freak out. If I have to climb, the worst part is getting on the roof and then climbing down the ladder. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that last step. Like
worst scenario.
I can get up and down that ladder just fine. It's like that last step going from the ladder to the roof, just that transition.
Mm-mm.
And then like trying to figure out like a firm footing to get off the roof back onto the ladder is like, if I transition my weight properly, like am I going to kick this ladder out from underneath me?
Yeah, I mean, I can be in a tall building, a tall structure, things like that don't bother me. But anytime,
but my 10-foot roof, man, no sir.
I mean, and truly, we were probably 20 feet above the ground in some places, but that was as high as it got. And it didn't even feel that high because we were kind of in the trees. So it's not like, there was a vast emptiness behind us where all we could see for miles was nothing. No, there were trees all around us. So it didn't feel that we were that high, but it was.
You ever,
if anyone takes you on a Via Ferrata,
just
do your own research. Yeah.
Do you ever see the documentary Free Solo?
No.
Okay, so the dude free climbs El Capitan, which is was a couple thousand feet up, and it is like in the middle of this valley, right? So like there's nothing around. You're on this rock face.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not what I did was nothing.
No,
remotely
I wouldn't.
like
I would never do that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've seen that. That's on the National Geographic. The National Geographic portion of Disney Plus, I believe. I need to check it out.
For sure. All right, that'll do it for us on the 23 Personnel Podcast. We'll be back next week to dive into some off-season shenanigans, looking at schedules, looking at new opponents. We still got to put together our game, our cooking show board. But that'll do it for us. For Michael, I'm Spencer. Catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at Punt Suck, and Michael at Michael_LVK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.